Another year has come to a close, and like most years, this one sure was a roller coaster, the good, the bad, the ugly. I thought it was about time to recap 2025. So let's get into my last 12 months. 2025 started with Los Angeles on fire. Evacuating as a blind person reminded me that disabled people are disproportionately impacted by natural disasters, and it lit a fire in me to advocate. At the same time, our car broke down. $2,000 to fix it felt impossible, and then going car shopping for a new car that I will never drive brought up a lot of new grief. And I know that I won't feel like this forever. I was really mourning independence that I'm never going to have. Living with my sighted partner taught me that as beautiful as our relationship is, the world isn't always ready for the reality of interabled relationships. Strangers questioning my value and worth in our relationship, going to bathrooms that were entirely inaccessible, trying to interact with gym equipment that I can't use on my own, showed me that the world truly isn't made for people like me. But the key shift in my thinking from when I was younger is that I no longer blame myself for being blind. I now blame the world for not designing with all of us in mind. I took all of that anger and turned it into purpose. By March, I flew to Washington, D.C. to advocate for disabled people facing natural disasters. In May, I spent 3 incredible weeks in Australia, which reminded me that beauty truly is not about what you see, it's about your experiences in life. I got to do a press tour, keynote the Boundless Beauty Summit, do accessible surfing, feed adorable little wallabies, and made too many lifelong memories to count.
Oh. Isn't that a lovely feeling when they pull up on you?
That same month, we went to Vegas for my boyfriend's bucket list concert, Coldplay. I got to do a tactile touch tour before the concert, which was so incredible, but then the concert was too loud for my guide dog, so I had to sit outside with him. Sometimes the highs and the lows happen all in one night. June brought us to Austria. I flew across the world to give my first TEDx talk that I only had 2 weeks to write and memorize. But despite that, it became an editor's choice, which is an honor given to only 1% of talks given. A few days later, we went to the Austrian Grand Prix. It looked thrilling, but for me, it ended up being total sensory overload. But still, being able to watch my partner live his dream was so worthwhile. Love is truly about give and take. July was so special because our parents finally got to meet for the first time. And watching our loved ones blend together so seamlessly felt like there was puzzle pieces falling into place. Then I flew to Florida to speak on the main stage at the Disability In conference, sharing my experiences and perspective with a broader audience. August was all about recording my audiobook. 24 hours in the studio spread over 6 days. I was determined that my story was going to be told in my own voice. Every word intentional. September brought us setbacks. The braille on my book was misprinted. The release had to get delayed, and then it ended up being accidentally released early anyways. Honestly, everything that could have gone wrong with my release did. October was the book tour. We did Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, and New York, with a Times Square billboard shining overhead. It poured rain in Los Angeles the day of the release, which felt like a bittersweet moment. It was kind of poetic, since duality is such a huge theme in my book. The good news is all the hard work and setbacks were worth it, because it did become #1 on Amazon in disability books and a USA Today bestseller, which absolutely would not have been possible without each and every single one of you who purchased the book or the audiobook. I am so appreciative. Thank you so much for the support. November brought one of the most meaningful achievements of my life. It was announced that I was the 2026 recipient of the Helen Keller Achievement Award. Being recognized for my contributions to uplifting the blind community is one of the biggest gifts I could ever receive, and is honestly hard to put into words. After not 1, not 2, but 3 Friendsgivings with friends old and new, we flew to Toronto in early December, where I finally got to meet my 4-month-old niece. It was honestly the first time I have ever loved a baby, but even more than that, it was just so incredible getting to see my brother be the amazing dad I always knew he would be. That joy that I felt was so immense. Okay, So here's what I learned this year. Highs and lows in our lives don't always take turns. They hold hands. It's all about pushing through the lows and living for the highs because they are always worth it. Unfortunately, grief doesn't end. It just arrives in new forms. Independence isn't doing everything on your own. It's being given the access to try. Success and struggle aren't different chapters in your book. They're in the same sentence. Standing ovations and burnout can happen at the exact same time, but they're both valuable parts of your story. Who knows what the heck 2026 is going to bring us? Maybe finally a new car. My boyfriend did end up being able to fix ours for $13 instead of $2,000, but sooner or later it will be time to toss in the keys for something shiny and new, so maybe this year. Speaking of shiny, maybe there will be a ring in my future. I can't say for sure. We'll see. One thing is for sure, you will still find me right here on YouTube making my weekly videos, but there might be a few changes. I plan to mainly focus my content this year on reaction videos, Molly rambles, and throwing in some interview style videos. I really want to bring more conversations to the forefront with people who see the world differently. For all of my other content that you might miss seeing here on YouTube, make sure to follow me on all the other platforms, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. You'll find it all there. And of course, you can always get early access, behind the scenes information, and stuff you won't see anywhere else over on my Patreon. Thank you all so much for another incredible year being in my life along for this journey. I could not appreciate it more, and I cannot wait to see you in 2026. Happy New Year.